Spooky fishing is one of the most effective ways of fishing for both XP and for money, which is why in today's video I'm going to be going over a number of setups and techniques that you can use for different stages in the game. Also, in case you missed it, the video that I made about the rest of the spooky event will be linked on a card now if you want to go watch that. I recommend you do, as it has a ton of useful tips and tricks. Before we get too far into it, I want to remind you that if you want to support me and look super sick while doing it, you can go down and buy my cape off the Mantle store. And with that, let's get right into the video. First things first is I want to explain the basics of spooky fishing. Spooky fishing can occur whenever the fearmonger is in the hub, which means that it can happen for the hour during the spooky event, the hour before, and the hour after. All of this time, you can catch spooky sea creatures, which are these ones that have the different black eggs. These can only be caught during the spooky event, but they can be caught anywhere that has water. There are 5 different spooky sea creatures, which all are increasing in rarity. So the first one is the Scarecrow, which is super common and doesn't really have any interesting drops. The next is the Nightmare, and that can drop lucky hooves, but nothing else really interesting as well. Next is the Werewolf, and this is where you can start making a lot of money because werewolf skin sells for a lot, and you can have a very small chance of getting a deep sea orb. Next is the Phantom Fisher. Once again, you can get deep sea orbs from this, and you can get phantom rods, which really aren't that much money, but are still a decent weapon. And then finally are Grim Reapers, which is where the bulk of your profit comes from, because you get deep sea orbs from them, and you can get soul fragments and vampire fangs. Soul fragments are used to craft the soul whip, and I think another recipe, and they do sell for a lot of money. They are each 700k, and because you can get up to 2 of them per Grim Reaper, you can make a lot of money off of them. The other big profit maker is the Deep Sea Orb, which applies the Submerged Reforge, and those can go for 3.5 up to 5 mil sometimes. Of course, that's not all the time, but right now, yes, they're at 3.75 mil, and that is also a lot of profit if you can get multiple of them in an event. All of the mobs do also drop green and purple candies, and that can be a decent bit of profit, but really isn't a ton. Where you really get your money is from the RNG drops from the werewolf skin and from the soul frags. Also important to note is that all of these sea creatures give a lot of fishing XP relative to how common they are, meaning that this is one of the most effective ways to level up fishing. Now that we've gone over the basics, let's talk about different techniques and gear that you can use so then you can be most effective in this event. There are 2 different kinds of setups that you're going to use. One of them is going to be for XP and one of them will be for money, and I want to explain both of them here. First things first is the money setup. If you are going for money, I recommend that you fish with a Legion party in somewhere like this. If you have a Legion party, all sea creature chance enrichments, and a sea creature chance beacon, you will have a lot of sea creature chance, meaning that you can do something kind of special. For a long time, a lot of people have thought that the Mythic Bat's ability is entirely worthless, but that is very much untrue. One of the things that you can do if you have sufficient sea creature chance is that you can cast out your rod with the flying fish equipped, and then change over to the bat mid-cast, meaning that you will get the speed from the flying fish, and you will get the increased chance to get spooky sea creatures from the bat. This is really effective, and it's what I've been doing recently, and it has made me a ton of money. Of course, the fact that you're fishing with a Legion party means that it's unlikely that you'll be able to kill anything with a squid pet, meaning that you will miss out on a pretty significant amount of XP, but if you are just going for money, this is definitely going to be the best setup. Next thing on the list for the money setup is that you are going to want 2 different pets when you are killing the mobs. When you're killing anything other than Grim Reapers, if you want maximum money, you should go for a Black Cat. Black Cats are the best for Magic Find, of course, unless you have a Chimera 5 Daedalus Axe, but you should really just be going for Black Cat, as that will increase the number of deep sea orbs that you drop by a significant amount. The last pet that you're going to need for profiting off the spooky event is going to be the Hound pet. And normally I don't like advertising bug abuse on this channel, but in this case it's a very well-known thing, so I don't really have any problem with it. And that is if you use any hound pet of any rarity and any level, and you kill player model mobs with it, any drops that are guaranteed drops from them will be doubled. While of course there are many great and powerful applications for this weird ability, the one thing that we're going to care about for now is that if you kill a Grim Reaper with a Hound equipped, you will get 2 times the amount of soul frags. If you are going for this money-based setup, I recommend that you go for Whalebait. Whale bait is going to be the most effective for money because it increases the number of Grim Reapers, Phantoms, and Werewolves you get, and it decreases the number of lower level mobs. The next setup that I'm going to talk about for this event is going to be something that I've talked about a number of times on this channel, and that is regular triple pet swapping. First things first for this is you're going to want to go to a gold mine or a very small private hub. The reason I normally go to gold mines during the spooky event is because nobody is really here during the spooky event, and also it's very difficult to find private hubs during the spooky event. And you really do care about both because otherwise your fishing can be impacted. Next thing that you have to do is just come over to where the barn is and then regularly barn fish. I've made videos about barn fishing a number of times before, but all you really need to care about is that when you fish, you cast with the flying fish, you catch with the dolphin, and then you kill everything with a squid. For this setup, you're also going to want to use spooky bait because the increased chance for spooky sea creatures means that you get more of the lower rarity mobs, and those are really the ones that will give you the most fishing XP in total. I'm not going to go over a detailed guide to pet swapping because I've already made a number of videos on that, but the basics of it are that you cast out with the flying fish. Midway through, once the bubbles have spawned, you switch to the dolphin, and then you throw it over your head behind you, and then you kill later on with a squid. If you have lower level gear or lower level fishing and you aren't fishing 26 yet, I recommend that you only do this event for XP and not for money. Of course, if you don't have Legion, then it's not going to really matter how you fish, and you should definitely just barn fish, and if you are doing that, then you should probably stick with flying fish to dolphin. If you don't have either and you want to know which one to get, a dolphin will always be better, and a flying fish is sort of just a nice thing to have. It isn't really as powerful as the dolphin itself. I'm not going to go into a super detailed gear breakdown for this event because I've already made a bunch of skill XP guides, and you can sort of just follow along with exactly one of those, and I'll link one in a card right now. It's nothing really special, and it's the exact same as that, and I recommend that if you aren't fishing 26, you stick to spooky bait. And with that, that just about wraps it up for this video. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, it would really mean a lot if you went down and liked the video and subscribed to my channel. Also, comment future video ideas and any further support that you have, because it really means a lot when I read through them. If you want to see more of me, I started a Bronze Man profile series, which is really exciting, and it will be a ton of fun, so I recommend you stick around for that. I'll see you guys later, and adios.